Hi everyone, this is Luca Jacoli, your South Bay apartment broker, Greater Los Angeles, Southern California. Wanted to go over today the important parts of a multi-family purchase contract, what to look for in an offer, whether you're a seller about to accept an offer or you're a buyer making an offer. These are the main points you're gonna wanna know before moving forward on a deal. I'm not gonna go over every single paragraph and sentence in an offer. There are a lot of caveats, but I'm gonna go over the main points that you should know before moving forward on a deal. Let's start with price. That's pretty straightforward. You're gonna wanna know the price of the building you're paying for or the price of the building you're selling in the offer. What is the price they're offering? Buyer's name. You want to know who the buyer is. Who is this person that's buying your building? You probably don't know them. Whether it's an individual or an entity, you probably want to Google this person or entity to make sure there's no red flags online of who they are. Same goes with buyer agent. Who's the buyer's agent? Is this a veteran buyer's agent who is doing a lot of transactions in your submarket, or is this a new buyer's agent new to the business or somebody with really no track record? This is going to give you an idea of the level of client control a buyer agent is going to have over their client, the buyer. Let's talk about the deposit. Here in Southern California, at least for multifamily, the standard practice is for deposit to be 3% of the purchase price. Take a look at the deposit. Is it 3%? If not, that's a red flag. Make sure it's 3% of the purchase price. Escrow length. Escrow length is also important. You need to know when this offer is saying you're going to close escrow. Typically, an all-cash buyer is going to be able to close escrow on your building within 10, 20 to 30 days. Somebody going to get a loan is typically going to ask for 45 to 60 days for an escrow. Again, these are averages. If you're getting a loan, 45 to 60 days. If you're an all-cash buyer, anywhere from 10 to 30 days. Also, you're going to want to look at the contingency periods in an offer. There's 4 main contingency periods. A contingency allows a buyer to get out of a deal or cancel escrow and get their deposit back. When a buyer removes all of their contingencies and go what's called non-contingent, in theory, the buyer's deposit becomes non-refundable. So you're going to want to know what outs this buyer has to get out of the deal and get their deposit back. As you obviously want to solidify the certainty of a deal closing, you're going to want to know what the contingency periods are. The first, due diligence. Due diligence allows a buyer to look at the books and records of a property, do a physical inspection. It's going to make sure the buyer, when buying a building, everything adds up to their expectations. They're going to review all the books and records, take a look at the property, make sure everything they thought this building was is what it is before moving forward. The contract default time for due diligence is going to be 17 days. So keep that in mind in case somebody's asking for a very long due diligence period. Loan contingency and appraisal contingency. This allows a buyer who's obtaining financing to get out of a deal or back out of a deal safely. For example, if the appraisal comes back and it does not appraise at full value, or if the loan is not approved, now a buyer can get out of a deal. The typical timeline or the contract default timeline for loan and appraisal contingency is going to be 17 days. Also take this into account. The fourth contingency that you will typically see in offers that has become standard practice as of late is an estoppel contingency. An estoppel is either a replacement to a lease or a reaffirmation of a lease that's already on file. Historically, estoppels have been used for tenants who don't have a lease on file. Obviously, a buyer's not going to want to move forward on a deal when a tenant does not have a lease in place. So a tenant would fill out an estoppel saying what they pay in rent, saying what their deposit is, what utilities they pay, etc. Anything you would find in a normal lease, you can find in an estoppel. However, it is worth noting it has become standard practice in the industry for most buyers to always ask for estoppels, even if all your tenants have leases. The reason being is because buyers have an added layer of security. In case there's any dispute over a lease, they also have an estoppel. Finally, you want to look at escrow and title. For example, in an offer, it will usually say buyer's choice or seller's choice for escrow and title. So for example, if you're a seller and you want to use a certain escrow company, make sure you review the offer. Make sure it says seller's choice for escrow. Same goes with title. If you're a seller and you want to select the title company, you want to make sure it says seller's choice. Also, standard practice in Southern California at least, escrow fees are split 50-50 between buyer and seller. Title's typically paid for 100% by the seller. Again, these are the main points you're going to want to know in an offer that you really want to look at and review before moving forward. There's a lot more to offers than just what I went over. But again, these are going to be the main structural, fundamental points of an offer that you're going to want to know before moving forward. Hope this helped. Hope you guys learned something today. Again, this is Luca, your apartment broker here in Southern California, South Bay, Los Angeles. Look forward to talking to you guys soon.